Alright, welcome back guys. It's Sunpire CCG here. It's me, Colin, behind the camera, and in front of me we have our very lovely 9th place Mohammad Fatah,
The Bubble Master himself.
the Bubble Master himself.
Broke my curse, stopped throwing my last round, only to bubble 8-1 9th place.
So, what event did you play and what did you play?
I played in the Montreal Regional in Canada. I got 9th place playing Bumblebee Luffy.
Bumblebee Luffy. Is it max rarity?
It is. It's very shiny.
Oh, okay. So aside from having your deck max rarity, what is good about the deck?
So the deck just is really good at manipulating its own life and setting up plays with the babies, which refers to all the 2-drop brothers from the 3-brother starter deck. All of the 5-drops are very impactful, especially the 5-drop Ace that has Rush and the 5-drop Black Sabo from set 4 that just protects your board from destruction. The only real drawback to that is in a Sakazuki format where they can bomb deck it's bad, but into most other matchups where it's harder to bomb deck the cards, Sabo is very strong.
And once Saka gets banned, this deck definitely
Absolutely
gets a lot better position.
This is definitely a deck I'm considering for Texas at the moment. But I'll go over my list that I played at the regional as well as some matchup information to get you guys a head start on it. So we played 4 Makino 2K, it rips our life. 4 Charlotte Flampe, it also rips our life, a very important thing I'll talk about in a bit. 4 Monkey D Garp Searcher, he checks top 5 for an Ace, a Sabo, or a Luffy. 4 Hiyori, this rips our life, but it can also put a piece into our life, like an Ace or a Sabo, for us to cheat out with one of the children. And then the most important pieces in the deck, 4, 4, and 4 of the small brothers, and 4, 4, and 4 of the big brothers.
Hey, that's not max rarity.
By you. So very important. I do not play the yellow Sabo from the starter deck. We'll get into that in a minute when I show you what I swapped out for him. And the 4 Luffys are necessary. Some lists try to cut it down a bit, but it's very important to the law matchup, and I'll be going over that in a bit. 4 Gecko Moria, because he's a part of your 10 Dawn power play. 4 copies of the 3 Brothers Bond. It has Trigger, Activate Main, and Activate Main. Just do the same thing Garp does. Check top 5 for one of these 24 cards. And then the last thing that I replaced a Sabo with is 2 Buzzcut Mochi. So Buzzcut Mochi was phenomenal all weekend long.
So for those who don't know, because obviously this is a very niche card, what does this card do?
So Buzzcut Mochi has Activate Main for 2 Dawn. If you have less life cards than your opponent, KO one of their 4 less costed characters. The main reason we played it is we needed an answer to a Kuzan play on 4, just because this deck very heavily struggles into Sakazuki, and that's primarily because Kuzan gets to free shrink our 5s down to 1 to get bomb decked with Blaze or Amino Murakumo Sword. So being able to go Buzzcut like Flampe on 5, rip down to less life than the Sakazuki, Buzzcut Mochi pop their Kuzan, and then swing 7 and either force 2 cards or force them down a life is very impactful, because then they don't really get to clear anything on 6, and if they try to do Kuzan play at that point, because we're down in life, we can either pressure them with like a 7 and a 7 on our 7 Dawn turn by just strapping 2 Dawn to our leader and 2 Dawn and playing the Rush Ace, or we can just like clear their Kuzan back and swing bigger again and just pressure their life that way. That's a matchup where we have to be very aggressive. But the 10 Dawn play as well is on 10 Dawn, we get to go put 2 Dawn on our leader, set up our life, and then pay 8 Dawn for a Moria, bring back 2 children. Ace tags out into the Ace that we put into life, and he gains Rush, and our leader goes to 7, and then Sabo tags into Sabo, protecting our board, fixing our hand, and then pumping our leader to a 9 because of the baby, and then we get to go 7, 11, and keep up a blocker with a 9k body established as well. But to go over a few matchups really quickly, because I know I've been asked about it a lot, you want to go second into most decks, the exception being RP Law. In the RP Law matchup, I tend to opt to go first, and you really want to just slam this card down on 5 Dawn and shotgun the ability so that it goes to 8k, it means that the Law player has to use 2 cards to try and shrink it down to remove it, and it means that they can't try to starve us anymore because we have an outlet to get rid of our life. Into Sakazuki, it is a very rough matchup. It's not super easy to play into. The buzz cut helps, but it's not everything. We have to play aggressively. Ace is the star in that matchup. You want to try and play them down whenever you get a chance and pressure their life total. You definitely need to know what hands you can and can't keep in most of these matchups. If you don't see at least a Flampe or a Hiyori and some pieces, you probably have to throw the hand back regardless of how many Morias it has. Into the Moria matchup, Moria is usually very easy. You want to play for Sabos because they don't have a way to get rid of your board if it's protected from KOing. Into Katakuri, you can just always set up your life so that their big mom plays are bad. They don't really have a way to pressure you, and being a 9k base means they can't really go for... They don't have any targets to wrestle with Amaru since Sabo's a 5, and then since Sabo can't be KO'd because of his own effect, they can't reject to try and kill the blocker. And then being a 9k base, they just can't swing into you for free, so that matchup is usually also fairly safe. Enel is a weird matchup. You still want second. You just want to make sure that you're like playing bodies, denying them their Gadatsu. Since we're a 4 health leader, they can't really Gadatsu these. And then you just like try to starve him at 2 until you have enough big bodies in play that you can start pressuring him and taxing cards out of his hand. Other than that, there's not many changes I'd make up until Texas and set 7. The Texas regional will be post Sakazuki and Reject and Great Eruption ban, but pre set 7. So there might be a few changes to make there. I'd need to keep testing for that.
Realistically, like, this is the only real flex spot,
Yeah,
right?
this is one of the main flex spots. I have seen people messing with playing 1 less of this and 1 less of this, or 1 less of this. So like this is the maximum amount of flex the deck has in its current state. I've seen some people cut this down, but I don't really like cutting these since it just helps with the consistency. But for the most part, the deck is like fairly stable as is. Like this list ran very, very consistently. I did drop my first round to a blue Dofi. Frankly, the only card I saw to like rip my own life was 1 Flampe. Like my opening hand was like this, so I just like opted to keep. I have like matching pieces, 2 searchers and a Flampe, so I'm like, yeah, I'll just get there. There's like nothing I need to worry about. In my next like 10 draws, I just did not find any other cards to like deal myself damage.
You also got bogeyed by Mihawk and double Kaido.
Yeah, my opponent went, he got to play the odd curve and he just went 9 Dawn, Mihawk bottom my Sabo into Kaido Secret Rare draw 4, into Kaido Secret Rare draw 4. I'm just stuck at 2 life, and he just has 3 massive buys. I'm like, yeah, I'm just dead. He's up like 12 cards in advantage on me. He just like didn't hit me for a few turns. I don't know if he was like afraid that I'd live or afraid that I'd find pieces, but just like I ended up just dying to natural causes. I just could not turn my leader ability on for the entire game.
Shout out to that guy, by the way.
Yeah, shout out to you. Etienne, I'm so sorry I don't remember your last name. He was a very chill guy. We had a wonderful discussion. He's super hyped to play his deck in set 7 when he gets the really good Warlord support. But I mean, he blasted me. Shout out to Winnie for sticking one of her goons on me round 1. But yeah, we ended up 8-1, 9th place bubble.
What were your other matchups?
I played basically 8 different decks in 9 rounds. I played
the
Blue Dofi round 1, Perona round 2, I believe Katakuri round 3, Enel round 4, Sakazuki round 5, Zoro round 6, Yamato round 7. Round 8, I played a second Katakuri, which was the only deck that I had played more than once the entire tournament. And then round 9, I played a Gecko Moria. So
you literally went through the entire tier list.
I quite literally went around the world in 8 rounds. So it was an experience. It was a really good time. Montreal was a very, very well-run event. Shout out to Carta Magica. It was super smooth. The event started at 10 after announcements. We were rolling by 10:15, and then we're done with 9 rounds by 5:15, 5:30. So again, very well run. I don't really have anything else. Shout out to my team for telling me to take this deck Thursday night. I was set on playing RP Law for the event. So I'd been testing this deck before RP Law, got the RP Law stuff, was playing that, enjoying it, and then I took it to locals on Thursday. Went 1-2, I got absolutely blasted in the mirror. I went up to my teammates, specifically Arvin. I'm like, Arvin, what should I take to the event on Saturday? And he's like, you should take Sakazuki. And I said no. And then he's like,
Wow,
just
what a
take
help.
Luffy. He's like, just take Luffy, but put in the buzz cut mochis over the sabos. And I said, all right, you've sold me. And we ended up going 8-1. So shout out to Arvin for telling me to play Sakazuki and then telling me to play something else. Shout out to the rest of my teammates for being great testing partners. Shout out to the One Piece TCG community. They're super nice. I really love playing this game. I really love competing. I love the atmosphere. Other than that, thank you guys so much for watching. This has been my top 9 dagger bubble deck profile. We'll look forward to having you guys on the channel. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and stay tuned for more upcoming content. Take it easy.
Thanks, guys.